Hello there, Battle Bus enthusiasts. Welcome back into the drop spot. Great to have you here talking all things Fortnite competitive. My name's Adam Savage. Great to be your host. It's an exciting time. And why is that? Because Chapter 5 is finally here. And we've got so much to break down and talk about here on the show today. Joining me, my guys, the squad mates we've assembled together. The almighty SPG and Lash. Fellas, I love you. And it's good to see you here. It's great to see you here. Loads to talk about. Obviously, when a new season drops, we all get so excited. But SPG, before we dive into it, how are you, my friend? How is life? How's the world treating you?
It's going well, man. Thank you very much. I love you as well, Adam. It's nice to see you. I'm glad to be back working together. And, we got Lash on board. Last time the boys were all together. It was a great episode, so I'm looking forward to it.
Indeed. It's about to be another fantastic episode. And then love you too, Adam. Love you too, SPG. Let's go. This is about to be, one good one because Chapter 5 is upon us.
It certainly is. There's so much love out here on the team tonight. And you guys, we love you as well. Whether you're listening or watching, wherever you are around the world, you are very, very welcome here. And we love having you. And as we said, we're going to break it all down because there is an absolute ton to get through. We are going to be talking all about, obviously, the new season. Loads to discuss there. Map, weapons, items, what it means for competitive, the whole shebang is coming your way. Tournaments, things that have been announced, things to look forward to that are coming up on your calendar, as well as some players to look out for. And, of course, the illustrious quiz. Gents, I know you love it. We all love it. We all love getting involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
It is all coming your way thick and fast here. So get ready for that. Right. Let's just jump into it, I think. Let's start with the event that kind of ended the season, and we looked ahead to the new one as well. SPG, it was kind of amazing. How much did you enjoy it? What did you like about it? And what's coming up that you are absolutely giddy about?
So I very much enjoyed it. I was one of the few people that were able to stay on the rocket the whole time. So I flew up on the rocket as it left, just saying I was special. And then the event itself was awesome. Really enjoyed the concert. Always been an Eminem fan, so just throwing that in there was a little icing on the cake along with all the visuals. And it took us through all these new worlds that we're about to experience in Fortnite, which is incredible. So I loved it. I had a great time. Lash, we watched it together. I know you enjoyed it too.
Oh, yeah. Being able to watch that as well with your buddies, I mean, that's the best part. But being able to see the new experiences as well, which is watching this weekend where we have our Lego, our rocket racing, and the festival, being able to get a little bit of a sneak peek of that is just, it was fabulous. And now I'm even more excited to be able to see how that intertwines into the space because it's looking really good.
You hit the nail on the head. It is looking so good. I mean, tens of millions of people tuned in, were in game, watched other streamers, were kind of part of it. I mean, that's what I loved about it as well. Is I loved you. SPG was on the rocket the entire time. Classic SPG. Classic. I think I love the fact as well that when you're kind of in game, you and your squad, you were there with your outfits, you were all kind of there together. You felt you really were as a team going through this together cosmically, be it the Lego or racing, everything you mentioned there. And the festival is coming thick and fast too. I mean, initial reactions to the new season. Obviously, we knew that the map was going to change to a degree. We didn't know exactly how it was going to change, but let me start with POIs. I mean, lads, where you dropping, SPG? Where are we dropping?
So for me, it's the Ruined Reels. I've really been enjoying that. It's got a nice aesthetic, and I feel like that would be a great place for me to host a concert. I can't sing that well, but you know what? If we filled up that area and had everyone have to listen to me, it would be phenomenal. And I like landing center on the map generally when it comes to just playing around with friends, a little more action-packed. So Ruined Reels has been my spot.
See, SPG, you say Ruined Reels, that seems kind of run down, but I'm going high echelon. Classy Courts. Now, this is a drop spot that has become pretty popular because you also have a little bit of that rotation, launch pads above in that snowy winter biome, and it kind of downslopes into the mid-map. But the fact that I like this is because you're able to then take those rotates over towards the right side and head over to Lavish Layer. And that is where you can start to access a little bit of that medallion, a little bit of that mythic mix. Ooh-hoo-hoo.
Ooh-hoo-hoo. Oh, Lash, I'm so glad you're here too. I mean, I mean, this is the thing is you make some unbelievable points about kind of like location POIs. I mean, there are so many. This is the great thing about this. And if you are someone who has not played Fortnite in a bit, or you came back into OG and now you've got the brand new map, you can see that there is. I love the different terrain. I love the different kind of like kind of biome aspects to it, be it kind of snow or kind of land. I love reckless railways. I've had a whale of a time. The train in general, SBG. How much are you enjoying a train? Capturing a train being included in this season, because I don't know how that doesn't make anybody smile.
It's such a unique thing for Fortnite is to have this like rotating almost POI that moves around the map, and you can capture it, you can get extra loot, and then you can also fight people on it. It's like a super unique idea for me, because I would have never expected anything like that to be added to Battle Royale. And I'm so excited, one, to see like how players decide to prioritize that, and then also what is going to happen if that just starts coming through late game tournaments and stacked lobbies. There's just a train rolling through. I have no idea, but I'm excited to see it.
See, every single time I've fought on the train, it hasn't gone well. I'll say that much, because you try and build on it and your builds are just instantly destroyed. So when you try and take a little bit of angled fights, it also can act as a little bit of a blockade. So especially in zero build, where you kind of can't look over it, well, then you run into a little bit of a pause in your fight. Therefore, you kind of have a constant evolving, like you had mentioned, POI in and of itself.
I think it's great. I mean, yeah, it just adds another layer, doesn't it? That's what it's all about. It's adding another layer to competitive, and another way players have to kind of be aware of certain things, like said train. Be aware, it could be a get out of jail card if necessary. I mean, that's the great thing. And if you're jumping into it in this new season, utilize it, see how you enjoy it, because it's a really cool addition to the game, I think, at least anyway. Let's talk about bosses and mythics as well here. 5 bosses on the map, okay, each with different mythic items. I'll list them off real quickly. Lavish Layer with Oscar's Frenzy Auto Shotgun, Fencing Fields with Nisha's Strike AR, the Grand Glacier with Montague's Enforcer AR, Snooty Shores with Peter Griffin Hammer Pump, yes, and the Reckless Railways of Valerina's Hyper SMG. Is there a boss that you've kind of gone up against, Lash, that you kind of most enjoyed tackling?
See, I don't know that I tackled this boss. In fact, I actually just got destroyed by the hammer pump by Peter Griffin, and it did not go well. However, one mythic that I'm really liking is that Hyper SMG. That thing is absolutely reckless, especially when you have those attachments automatically on it, and then you have that scope, and you take a little bit of those medium range shots, because you're doing insane damage.
You are SPG. I mean, I think it's a good point. That's what I love about these bosses. They can be tough, but when you do, but the rewards that you get from them are a big time game changer when it comes to particularly kind of the end game and having the kind of the mythic weaponry at your disposal.
Yeah, 100%. I have landed at a POI mostly that doesn't have the bosses, so my boss is the player that is able to eliminate them and then bring the loot to me. So that's kind of been my boss that I've been taking on. And then I get the medallions, I get their mythics. It's been perfect. And the medallions are kind of awesome if you just are consistently box fighting people, because everyone just keeps walking over you. You get one elim, your shields go back up, another team comes, you're like, all right, I'm chilling. Come on, bring it on, buddy. And then you take down another one. It's been a lot of fun. I like it.
I'm very interested to see how the medallions kind of play out in that end game, because it kind of acts like a slurp juice in that nature, where you have a constant shield just refreshing you. So when you have those kind of players like Poyo that are so good at that box to box range, I think those are the kind of players that are going to be able to really flourish. And even we saw on the first day of scrims, Baka and Pars playing low ground with the medallions amazingly.
Yeah, players already utilizing medallions, and you may have been at home as well, utilizing them also and enjoying them. I'm sure you've been enjoying the new weapons too. I mean, there are lots to get excited about here, new weaponry wise. What are you taking into? What are you aiming for when you go into kind of like into Fortnite right now? What kind of particular weaponry do you want in your inventory? SPG, what's something that you have to have in your loadout to ensure that you dominate?
So I think early game, I've actually really been liking the Frenzy Auto Shotgun. The like quick output of damage that it puts out has been really nice to win those early game fights. And then he switched to that hammer pump later on in the game. And The Nemesis I've seen is more of like an accurate mid-range weapon versus the Striker is like a good follow-up spray weapon. So I'm torn between those two. I don't know exactly how I want to play them yet.
See, I'm taking the Nemesis only because I have that nostalgia of those slower fire rate but big damage assault rifles. You got your heavy assault rifle from back in Chapter 1, and then you have the Ranger's assault rifle from Chapter 3, I believe it was, and being able to have that mix is just incredible to be able to range in that extra bit of damage, but the fire rate of that Striker AR, I mean, we gotta talk about it. That thing absolutely beams, especially when you get a player with incredible aim in the right hands. Oh, it's wraps.
Yeah, talking about that beam, the Hyper SMG is a beam too. Like that thing just shreds people, and I've been using that with some of the mods. When you get the extended mag on there, that thing is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, mods have been, obviously another huge addition to this season here. Are there certain mods that you are you've highlighted some there, SPG, but both you again, like any particular combos that are really powerful, anything that you think is definitely worth listening because you've got scopes, optics, foregrips, muzzle brakes, suppressors. What is it, Lash, that you've been really enjoying right now? Do you think it's going to make a big difference come competitive and tournaments as well?
So a triple threat combination here is when you have the laser grip, the extra magazine, and you also then have the suppressor on, which therefore allows you to get a really, really close fire shot on anybody, especially up close when you have that burst SMG, which, by the way, I'm so glad is back. I've been missing that burst SMG since Season X. So hyped to have that back. But being able to have that very pinpoint accuracy combination, not only up close, are you sneaky and silent, but you're also a little bit of that mid-range once you're kind of over on top of the builds and then your players are like 30 meters or so a distance, you're still doing a consistent 20 damage burst shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good point. I think that's the thing when it comes down to the modding aspect as well, SPG. If you can have like a trifecta, or you can the great thing about it is always trying to make it bespoke, always trying to make it about you and how you like to play personally, specifically. And I think that's the great thing. It's just another layer for players everything's about layers. What I'm talking is layers. But it's layers. I mean, that's what it is. It kind of gives players a unique opportunity to really make the game as much their own as possible.
Yeah, and I think it's also going to make players have to learn how to use everything to the best of their abilities, because not every location has those benches where you can then create your own mods. You're going to have to learn to play with whatever mods are on the weapon that you're picking up, because most of the time you're not going to get just a massive variety of choices. And I love to see kind of that additional, as you love to say, Adam, layer to the game where we're going to now have mods become a part of what players think about when building a loadout.
Yeah. See, one thing I do want to talk about, though, is the spawns of those mod benches, because they align relatively similar to those forecast towers. And because we had mid-game objectives back in the mix where we have not only the Rift Island, but also, again, like I mentioned, those forecast towers, it's also going to implement very similarly, because it creates these traffic areas, if you will, where now, even though this zone does pull in a certain direction, you have a forecast tower that becomes an active spawn rate. Therefore, you have more players kind of turning right side. And that adds, again, another, like Adam likes to say, layer of just eternal game sense that you have to think about. Like, is this going to have a Rift Island? Is this going to have a forecast tower in my sight? And then how can I take advantage of that?
Yeah, the mid-game objectives actually, same list, I think it's Chapter 4, Season 4. You've got Forecast Towers, Combat Caches, and Rift Island. Again, it's all about how... I do love Rift Island. I've got a lot of time for it. I think a lot of players will, obviously... I love seeing the train tracks running around it too. This is the thing. I just keep getting so gassed about looking at the map and how things have changed. You always spot new things, think, that's great. It's a great addition. That's the beauty of a brand new season, really. But I mean, with these mid-game objectives, SPG, are they good for this competitive season? Do you think they'll make a big difference as well?
I think it always does, because it's something that you can rely on when you have to deal with RNG and chance. it's something different that okay, if I go for the cash, if I go for the mid-game objectives, I know that I'm going to be able to get this. The chances of if I have to fight for it, that's a whole nother story. But if you're a confident fighter, if you're able to get to them first, typically you're going to be good. And the new Rift Island is so nice looking. Like, it's got two little sides to it to play off of. So it's not just that one singular loot lake like building like what we saw in the past. It's a whole new mix, and I think that's going to add some extra depth to those fights up on that island.
And the cool thing is, we saw a completely new revolution of players in 2023 this year, of players that were basing their entire strategies of being able to bring back their game from combat caches, Rift Islands, and, of course, well, now the reintroduced or forecast towers.
Yeah, they certainly have. I think, again, there are so many changes that you kind of have to wrap your head around, because obviously I always find with players as well, like when they come to a new season and you see how quickly they say, right, our duo is this, we're going to drop here, this is where we're going to go this season. You make those decisions, it seems, very quickly, as players do. They must take all these factors into consideration, SPG here, because you want to make sure you want to give yourself the best opportunity possible, and you know the kind of player that you are. I guess, is it kind of you tend to kind of stay in the same kind of area where you would usually drop on the map, or do you kind of look towards different POIs, thinking, I like the loot there, I like the opportunities to kind of get ahead, like the mid-game objectives. I mean, where do you think the players' mindset? How do they make the decisions so quickly? Is what I'm ultimately trying to say.
So I think they're a little rushed when we see all these pros tweeting out like landing here for 2024. Like, come on, the season started yesterday. You don't really know that you want to land there the entire season. But there is some kind of idea to it. We know that certain players like a Booga or a Queasy typically like to land on the edge of the map, versus other players like Bucky and Okus love to land in the middle. Polo Sphinx landed middle last season. So there's a lot of players that typically trend towards center of the map versus edge of the map. And then you can kind of start to feel out like, all right, there's not much in this area. Do I have enough loot from this POI? Is this a POI that's going to typically be split? Is it fought for? And then you start to check all these boxes, and if it starts to check all the boxes for you, that's why you put that tweet out. But nonetheless, it still is a little early for me, knowing we're probably a ways out before we start talking about FNCS drop spots.
Yeah. I mean, Lash, let me ask you quickly as well. We haven't talked about like movement, mantling, swimming, sliding. I mean, there's lots of differences in that department too.
Definitely, and you have almost a refreshed, relearning period, especially for a lot of these players, which is going to kind of tap into that being able to come into 2024 and all that competitiveness. Well, what are you going to be able to do to put in this work in to adapt to these new things? Like, we have literally a new mantle mechanic where you can climb up an entire building scale. Like, that is incredible. I just got absolutely worked yesterday playing some games. I'm like, where did this guy come from? He's just popping up the building and boom, one pumped. But that's the ultimate skill gap that we're going to now see heading into the new year of competitive as well, because like we had seen in Major 2 to Major 3 for Queasy and Vito, I know this is a conversation that constantly finds itself in the mix, but that's because we saw probably one of the greatest FNCS performances we've ever seen in history of Queasy and Vito in Major 2, 6 VRs, insane, but then they got a little bit of that victory sweetness, and then it turned into bitterness real quick, not even qualifying for Major 3's grand finals.
That's true, it did, and it was. I mean, I remember the 6 VRs was magical, man. Just, I mean, it was because you kind of think that is such a difficult thing to do, and they managed to do it, and so it's just so brilliantly as well. But I mean, as you can say, again, SPG, we've got all these different additions to the season. Is movement for you quickly as well? Is that a big factor? Do you think is going to influence a lot what happens competitively as well? Will it really change things for players?
I wouldn't say it massively changes things, but there's like the little intricacies that players will have within a box fight, within a build fight, within rotates and endgame that we've already started to see, like players backwards ramping down during endgames to get that little bit of speed boost. So like you climb beginning a zone, you ramp down, you slide down it, so then you get that speed boost. Some teams did that towards the end of last year, and then everyone else started to catch up. And I think we'll start to see similar things like that, where, a couple duos are like, I got the secret strats, but awesome part about Fortnite, you can go into the VODs, you can watch these people and see what they're doing, and then implement that to yourself. So no, it's not a huge change overall, but over time it will become one, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to see different strats, different kind of 577 IQ plays just coming out left, right, and center very, very soon. So keep your ears to the ground, folks. Chapter 5 is out there. Enjoy it. We've merely scratched the surface of what is available in this new chapter here. So make sure to give it a go and enjoy it with your pals, because it is there and it's going to be around for a while. And so let's have some fun with it. Speaking of fun, hey, do you know what I think it's time for? I think it's time that we test your knowledge, SBG and Lash, and do our quiz. What are you saying, fellas?
I like it.
Yeah, they're in. And by the way, you mentioned about doing a gig earlier on the SBG. I would totally buy a ticket. Front row seat, 100%. I'd be there, man. I got you.
All right. We'll talk
always.
Later.
We'll talk later. Right. Okay. It is time for our quiz. If you are brand new to the to the drop spot and don't know what this is, ultimately, we basically ask multiple choice questions, three to each of our guests here, and then we go back and forth. At the end of which, if it's a tie, we go to a tiebreaker question, which is ultimately the closest person to the answer wins, which we usually do anyway, just because it's a laugh and we love it. So I think we're going to do it again because it's great. So SBG, I'm going to start with you today. You're going to get the very first question here in the quiz. Are you ready for this?
Born ready.
Born ready. Of course he is. Right, SBG, your question. And guys, at home, play along as well. Get involved. Okay, we want you guys to get involved as well. See how you do. Right, question 1. SBG, how many seasons of Fortnite have there been, including this one? How many seasons of Fortnite have there been, including this one? Is it 26, 28, or 30? 26, 28, or 30?
I'm going to go 28.
Okay. Very straight in there, Lash. I mean, he was not messing around there. He's locked in 28. Would you vibe that? Would you change it up?
I would actually go with 27.
That was not one of the options, but okay. I'll accept
Got it
it.
wrong.
Oh, jeez. It's all good. It's not my question,
Brilliant.
so we're chilling.
It's still your question. You mentioned you like going to classy courts. Classy. Stay classy, Lash. Always. Right.
Thank you.
The correct answer was actually 28. SBG gets a point, baby. Let's go.
All right, I'm walking out after that.
1 0. Okay, that's it. He's gone.
Can't do that. Whoa, wait now. Wow.
Yeah, mic drop. He's left. He's not really. Right, question 1 for Lash here. Let's see if you can tie things up. Okay. Fortnite OG was the shortest season ever. How many days was it? Fortnite OG was the shortest season ever. How many days was it? Again, the answers are either 26, 28, or 30. How many days?
Ooh, okay. So we just started chapter 5 on, was it December 5th? And we started chapter 4 OG. I want to say 26 days.
Mm-hmm. You think you want to say 26 days?
Yeah.
Okay. If that had been your question, SBG, what would you have gone for?
So there's 30 days in November minus 5 would be 25. Then add 3 is 8. That's 28. Boom. Same answer as the last one. 28.
Okay. Well, it wasn't 28.
Oh, I can't do math.
And it wasn't 26. It was 30. The answer's 30 days. Oh, gentlemen. That was close, though. That was close. It was tight. I mean, we're talking about a couple of days here. But yeah, 30 days. 30 days. Very short season, but one that we all absolutely loved. It was brilliant fun. Okay, so we got 1-0 to SBG going into the second round of questioning. Okay, here we go. SBG, how long do flow berries give you a low gravity effect for? How long do flow berries give you a low gravity effect for? Is it 10, 12, or 15 seconds?
Oh, geez. Those are all so close. Yeah. I was going to say 15 right off the bat before you said the numbers, so 15, final answer.
15 locked in straight away. Lash.
Locked in.
What would you have said?
I think it's 10.
Okay. Well, if only this had been Lash's question, because it was 10, And
I'll take it.
sadly, 15 was not the correct answer, obviously, but 10 seconds was the right answer. Yeah, flowberries. 10 seconds. Okay. It's quick. It felt very quick. 10 seconds. Wow. Okay, so it remains 1-0 to SBG. Lash, you have to tie this up, brother. This is the one for you. This is the one for you. Here we go. Question 2 for Lash. What's the most damage that you can do with one cluster clinger? What's the most damage you can do with one cluster clinger? Is it 90, 120, or 150?
Good luck.
It's gotta be 150.
SBG smiling through that one. What was that, Lash? What was that?
Actually, hold on. No. I didn't lock in my answer.
He locked it.
So no. So I saw this clip. Someone threw down 3 cluster clingers, and it did 240 damage. I want to say. What was the second one?
He's waffling, Judge.
No.
No.
The
I like
second,
the logic.
It was 120, right? Was the second option?
Yeah, 90, 120, or 150.
I'm going 120.
Okay, are you sure you're locking that in?
I'm locking it.
SBG, would you have agreed with him, or would you change the answer?
I don't know. I literally have zero idea. So like,
okay.
Whatever C is, I'll go with.
I wish you'd kept your original answer, Lash, because it was actually 150. It's 60, then 3 times 30 for the clusters. So 150. 150 in total. Yeah, 150. So it remains 1-0 going into the third round. Oh, massive.
Let's go.
Okay, this is it. Question number 3 for SBG. How many POIs are there on the map? How many POIs are there on the map? 11, 12, or 13?
I have the map open on my other screen, so
no,
this
you
is
don't.
cheating.
Don't do that. Don't do that, you loser. Go on.
11. I don't know. What were the options?
11, 12, and 13.
11. We'll go 11.
Lash, you're nodding. Would you have gone for that or something different?
So I have 12 in my mind because I know I know it's not the POI number, but I have 12 in my mind because that's the amount of Rift Island spawns there are compared to the 17 we had in Chapter 4, Season 4. So I'm gonna say it's the same. I'm gonna say it's 12. Just tossing it out there.
Okay. So it wasn't 13. It wasn't
12 either.
11. It wasn't 12 either. It was 11. SPG's got the 2-0. Oh my goodness.
That doesn't feel right. It's 1-0.
The Lashosaurus Rex there. Did you look at the maps? Did you look at the map?
I didn't, but like I have it open, so like I've been looking at it.
Oh,
so
that is sus.
it doesn't count.
You are so
what do you
sus
mean
right now.
Sus? I didn't know what the questions were.
This guy.
It's fair.
This guy.
It's fair.
I'll take my point away. It's 1-0.
Okay, 1-0. Okay, so
that.
Lash, no pressure here, but he's given you a point back to get you. Come on, Lash. This is your question. Question number 3. By the way, Lashosaurus Rex is a great name for you. Okay, here we go. This is it. How many stations are there along the railway? How many stations are there along the railway? Is it 5, 6, or 7?
So I gotta visualize the map right now. So if anybody else is doing the same thing, I'm doing it. No, I'm not doing the same thing that you just did. No. All right, so you got one. I know north. I know you got one south, and then there's another one in the corner. So that's 3. So I'm gonna say there's another one to the right, and then there's another one to the top left. So I'm gonna say that's 5 total.
Okay, it's good logic again. Somebody's gun. What would you have said? It was your cue.
What were the options? I'm also really glad that Lash got the questions he did, and I got the questions I did. Just wanted to say thank you for whoever chooses.
Options were 5, 6, or 7. Lash went with 5.
I'll go 6. We'll make it interesting.
Well, it wasn't 7. And it wasn't 5. It was 6. It was 6.
No.
SPG would have got
Not
that.
like this.
A
Not
donut
like this.
by the Lash man.
But look. We can't trust SPG at this point. I mean, the first question could have been a bit of a botched job, but there could have been a screen open with how many seasons are there in Fortnite. That could have been a thing. I mean, random.
Hey, I owned up to it and told you it didn't count. I tried to not answer the question. I'm just trying
to make Lash feel like happy, okay?
I appreciate it.
I don't want him to get upset. We're a family here, okay? Right. tiebreaker question, because why the heck not? All right, you guys play along at home as well here. It's all about whoever's closest to the actual answer here. Right. Tiebreaker question. How long does it take for the train to complete a full circuit? How long does it take for the train in Chapter 5 to complete a full circuit? What do you think? And obviously, Lash, you're going to be the first person here to take a guess.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to can follow up. Okay. What are you saying?
I'm going to say it takes around the same time as the first circle to start closing in. And that's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's my answer. 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay. So Lash locking in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's the bar. SPG, okay. where are you vibing?
So the map is about 82,000 square meters large, right? And the train moves at approximately 11 meters per second. So then if you try and calculate the circle of all that made up numbers I just made, it's going to be about 4 minutes for the complete lap.
4 minutes for a complete lap. Okay.
Yep.
So you've got 2 minutes 30 seconds from Lash. And then, SPG Einsteining us with some mad numbers. And then
totally
comes up with, okay, fine. So 4 minutes. Neither one of you are that close. The correct answer is not 2 minutes 30. It's not 4 minutes. It's not 5, 6, 7, or 8. It's 9 minutes 25 seconds. Yep. 9 minutes 25 seconds. That's almost 10 minutes to get around the map. That's wild. How nuts is that? That is wild. To be honest, SPG, because you were still so far away there, we probably should take away your point to make it a draw 0-0. But still, there you go. That's our quiz. That's our quiz there. Hope you guys enjoyed that playing along. Well done, SPG. That was a great performance today. Commiserations, Lash. GG's. Good questions. Great questions. And
great questions.
Love those questions. Too. Yeah, great questions. So yeah, SPG's very happy with those. But I hope you guys enjoyed that at home as well. And let us know how you did online. Make sure to get that into us. Did you get everything correct? Did you get 9 minutes 25 seconds? Probably not. That is a wild answer, but it's a thing. Right, let's move forward and start talking about actually the competitive side of things as well again now, because the first tournaments have been announced. There's lots to look forward to for all different styles of players here. First tournaments are on Friday. Just a few here. We got the likes of the PlayStation Cup qualifiers, which is Battle Royale and Zero Build, the prize pool of $250,000. There's cash cups. SPG, what for you is kind of you're looking forward to on the competitive calendar? You're definitely going to lock in and make sure to tune into.
The cash cups. I love to see the duo cash cups coming back. I can't wait to see one who plays together because, it's the off season. Everyone's kind of switching teammates and trying to figure out what's best for them. And then 2, we get to see how those teams do. And we kind of get to start to see what the competitive meta and overall gameplay is going to look like. Doesn't mean we're gonna actually see like a real in-depth piece because people are just trying things out, but at least like get a little glimpse into what's to come.
And speaking of what's to come, when we look down that competitive blog post, I woke up, I'm just like, I got my coffee in hand, and I'm just reading through it, and I see, halfway through the page down, we got confirmed duos FNCS 2024. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. More details in January. That was the main eye popper.
The eye popper. It definitely was. That's the thing. We get so excited because of the festive time of year. We kind of wind things down, but suddenly we realize that nope. Come January, we're going to ramp things back up again. We've got an entire year to look forward to, and that's just around the corner here. We also got mentioned victory cash cups and duo Zero Build victory cash cups, with even more players qualifying to the finals. 11,500 on EU, $100 for everyone in the final, which is awesome. 7 of these are going to run before Christmas for you guys, so keep that noted as well. There's also Mix-Up Mondays. We do have a bit of Mix-Up Mondays here, SPGs. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, I saw somewhere it was 3 straight weeks of tournaments and just pretty much something every single day. So if you like to play any kind of competitive Fortnite, 1, there's something for you. Even if you haven't played yet, I guarantee you one of these you will like. And then 2, for fans of competitive, like, this is awesome. You can play all the tournaments, you can watch all the tournaments. I can nerd out, hit some VODs, and see what everyone's doing. I'm super excited for it, and the mix-up cups have been quite fun, just because it's like a fun tournament where you don't have to take it super seriously, and you can try out new things, try out new teammates, and play whatever random thing they throw at you.
And remember, we also got our console players. We got PlayStation Cups back in action, Zero Build and Battle Royale solos. Ooh, and I know that is an absolute blast because you also get to witness maybe a little bit of an up-and-coming story. We have players like Cam who are absolutely balling out on console before they had come over and started to dominate, especially in Chapter 3 for Cam. And then we have players like Miro who can just, I mean, let's be honest, Miro can just do it all.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad at Fortnite. He's
Accurate.
not. He's fine. Accurate. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. Global champion right there. Yeah, we've got. I mean, that's the thing is there are tons of ways, and you guys absolutely said it as it is. There are tons of ways now. Whatever kind of however you play, like we're kind of with rank mode coming in last year, different opportunities now to kind of try and test it out and try and get involved as involved as you can do in competitive and see how you get on there. And there's lots and lots of ways you can do that. And there's, as you can see, there's tons, particularly in the festive period. There's loads of ways that you can jump in and get involved as well there in upcoming competitions. I wanted to touch on as well here. You mentioned players and kind of the players out there. We've all been watching different clips recently. I think I watched yesterday. Mr. Savage dropped like a 37 elimination bomb, which was unreal. Mongrel back in the mix. All the different players who are all kind of getting involved and kind of showcasing what they're kind of doing in Chapter 5 already. Let's take a look at some of the duos as well that kind of starting to take shape over the course of this coming season as well. Who kind of really sticks out to you that are definitely worth kind of keeping note of? That kind of ones that you are looking forward to seeing take to action there. SPG. Who jumps out at you?
So let's go with Bryce and Chubbs first. I think they were one of the most consistent duos in all of North America, arguably the world, over the course of 2023. We saw them finish 6th in Major 1, 11th Major 2, 4th Major 3, and 6th at Global Championships. Before this year, most people that follow competitive Fortnite, I'm going to even include myself, don't even really know who they were. They put themselves on the map this year, and I'm really interested to see how it all turns out. At the current moment, these two have decided that wasn't good enough. We didn't play well enough, finishing pretty much in single digits in every tournament we played. So Bryce is now playing with Chubbs. Chubbs is playing with Skittles, and we'll see if they decide to stick with that. We know there's changes. I hope they get back together. The success of this duo has been incredible, and I really want to see more of it. But I also do think the two players are ascending to that next level to where they're now both finding teammates. Bolts has won an FNCS. Skittles is highly regarded as one of the top players in North America. So they've moved on, but maybe to better. I find that hard to believe, but we'll see how the next year turns out.
And I do really want to hone in on Brycix as well, because he has been one of the more underlying, flying under the radar, high ground players. And even through some of the solo collegiate cups, we saw that highlight so much, as well as during Major number 1. They were widely considered. I believe I remember this somewhat vividly of like they were one of the most populated high ground teams in Major 1. And to be able to see that consistently find its way, even finding 2 victory royales during the global championship as well. I mean, do we have another like EU kind of story arc where the players just keep on winning, but then they keep on splitting?
I mean, there are Queasy Vino split and Tayson and Mustache split. So that's, those were 2 very successful duos last year that are now, it's Tayson Vino, Mustache, Thomas HD, which also means Malibuka is not playing with Thomas HD. So there's a lot. It's a whole carousel going on in Europe right now. Everyone trying to figure out who the best teammate is. And they're all such skilled players that I think it's a matter of like, what is the perfect duo versus like, what's a good duo? Because there's going to be one that hits and finds the perfect duo. And that's when you get a 6 out of 12 wins in grand finals with Queasy and Veno.
well, Thomas HD's the one thing he hasn't done is won the title. He needs it, and Queasy could be the one to step up and help him get there. He's done it before, but that's what I love. I mean, I love obviously speculating. We have to wait and see exactly what happens, but it is kind of exciting because it really. I mean, we love drama, the entertainment of it all, and kind of learning, kind of about the new kind of duos that form and how they're going to take to proceedings come the kind of like the official kind of competitive season kicking off. I mean, Lash again speculating, but duos that you kind of are kind of keen to see, we think might be a thing that we should definitely keep our ears to the ground about?
See, this is a duo that was together this year, though. So we just mentioned one that is kind of on the waivers, on the waters of Chubbs and Brycex, but this duo, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a time machine. Back to Chapter 4, Major 3. DeiMisha, the team that had 8 different drop spots, 8 different loot patterns throughout the grand finals, out of 12 games, mind you, and then finished in a 3rd place position on that grand finals lobby. And I actually got confirmation, sneak peek, this duo is actually sticking together in 2024. They plan to, at least, like, when we talk about, like, oh, is this Taste and Vino? Is this gonna happen? Nah, this duo, Tini and Misha, they have the strategies down, and they want to be able to continue to keep that workflow heading into 2024. And I respect it because that performance in Major 3 and even a 17th at the Global Championship was a star-studded enough performance for me.
And one of the really cool things is this is a duo that you can see continuing to work on the things, continuing to find what their problems are, hitting the VODs, and coming back better each and every single major last season. Didn't qual to the finals in the first major. Finished bottom 3rd in the second major, then a 3rd place in Major 3, and then top half in the Grand or Global Championships. So that is very impressive. That's what you love to see, is teams continuing to stick it out, working with your teammate, fixing those mistakes. And one thing based on their strategies of this, like, somewhat, people are going to call it random, but it's 100% not random. It's random to the people they're jumping on. These players landing in various places, picking off players, it works because Misha and Tini are such good fighters. It works because of the mid-game objectives that they can play for, fight for, and get all that extra loot. Now, I don't recommend this for anybody in, most lobbies, but in closed lobbies, Misha and Tini have an incredible strategy, and other teams are going to pull that out, and I'm interested to see how it turns out.
And they spend so much time in the VODs to be able to get that information as well. Like, some people may just see it on screen and be like, oh, why are they doing this? Like, it just, like you had mentioned, seems so random, but the amount of knowledge that this duo really put to work in those, like you had mentioned, set lobbies is just impressive, to say the literal very least. And now, especially here in Chapter 5, I'm so excited to see them because we have the Rift Island back in the action, as well as we have Forecast Towers back in action, and we also have the train to be able to play into that, and then 5 major vaults, not including some of the minor vaults that include some of those mods. Oh, there's so much opportunity.
Well, and one more thing, Lash. We don't know how teams are now going to react. Because Misha and Tini have been so successful, now everyone in the back of your mind when you're creating a loot pass, when you're developing early game strategies, has to think about this. And you might play differently. You might play slower based on, oh, these guys could pick us off. And if they do it once in a tournament, then it is always in the back of your mind and going to cause you to play differently than, say, they never achieved this and were successful. So not only is it just them, but it's the rest of the lobby that is now affected.
But we just mentioned that 11 POIs on the map, not including obviously split drops, and we have 49 duos. I don't think every single one of those duos is gonna be able to be like, are Misha and Tini gonna be able to just camp it around this corner? Like, there's so much that's happening there. I mean, do we really think that every single other duo and every single other drop spot and building an area that you try to look into, like, that's a lot of information to take in?
It is, but you need to do it. If you want to win, you got to be aware that these guys could be doing it, especially when it comes down to those weekly finals for FNCS, and especially the grand finals.
You're firing me up here, boys. Just talking about all these different variations of what could possibly happen, throughout the course of the season, the different changes, the ways that you could have, players are going to have to I guess, like, really kind of do their homework. I mean, they always do anyway, and the VOD reviews and such. But it's going to be absolutely electric. We cannot wait for this thing to really kick off. And if the new chapter is anything to go by what we've seen so far, it is going to be fireworks from start to finish. I've loved this. It's been great. I'd love to. I'm sure you've left me with a smile on my face. I'm literally going to say goodbye in a minute and hop on and play a few games because I can't. That's why I love this. I'm literally going to jump straight and I can't wait. For you guys as well, I mean, SBG, Lash, where can everyone find you online? Where can we keep in touch with what you're doing and what you're up to in the space? SBG, go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, you're the best, so you gotta go first.
Oh, I did win, so I am the best.
That's true.
It's at Somebody's Gun on Twitter. I'm also running some community awards at Comp Awards FN on Twitter. If you guys want to participate, go check that out.
Well, you can find me at Caden Lasher, CAYDENLASHER, on all social media platforms. Got some really, really cool stuff cooking up here, as I'm going to be dropping a video actually right after this of a conversation I like to call the FNCS GOAT debate, where I take apart like every single best players that are in the GOAT conversation and depict their teammates across every single FNCS. So that'll be really interesting, as well as before the new FNCS kicks off, I've got a pretty cool documentary across the 2023 story as well launching. Love
that documentary.
Yeah,
that's awesome, bro. I love that. I can't wait for that. Look at these guys. You guys are up to so much. This is amazing. I've loved this. I can't wait to see. Make sure you guys at home as well, do make sure to follow Lash and SBG as well. All the great things that they're up to in the Fortnite space right now. I'm Adam Savage. You can find me on socials as well at Adam Savage. Thank you so much for taking part here tonight and in the quiz I'm sure you did at home, for listening in, for watching in as well. We look forward to seeing you on another episode of the Drops Out real soon. Till then, take care. We'll see you on the Battle Bus, baby. Bye-bye for now.